haven't had. Okay, so now we're live. Okay, hi and welcome everyone. I am Professor Tuck, and this is the old man, and we have got a we've got a good talk going on. We kind of talked a little bit. Sorry about being late. Normally we would have members chat on, but there was some technical difficulties, so I had to restart the whole live stream. So for tonight and tonight only, this will be open to the general public. And so I want to say thank you to our sponsor, Stephanie at openairproperties.net. If you go down in the description, she has been somebody that I purchased my property from. I've been here about 7 months. Absolutely love it. She's an absolutely phenomenal person. If you've watched any of my content, I always rave about how good she is, how ethical she is. I really talk about how important she is as somebody to be able to do business with, because it's very hard to find somebody that is going to be human and still kind of work with you, because so many people are into it just for the money. Stephanie still has a heart, and one of the things that I love most about her and her website is that she says that she's in it to win it with you. And that's been the great thing about my experience, and many other people that I've talked to, because there's other subscribers that have purchased from her as well that tell me the same thing. She's in it to win it with you. She's not here just to sell you a piece of property. She's here to help you accomplish your goals as far as getting things built, getting everything going, and making sure that you live the dream that you're looking for. It's more of a personal mission for her. So in honor of Memorial Day, the $249 deposit and 25% off of monthly payments on any property. So how does this work? So okay, when I bought my property, it was $249 down plus $100 doc fee. Okay, so that's $349. And then within 30 days, your payment starts. What's up, Taylor? Oh, good. That's good. You still pee in the shower. Uh, yeah, the Taylor's one of our buddies. But anyways, so 249 and then the 100. Okay. But what she's normally doing, so my property payment would have been $200. But I took advantage of a very similar deal right around Christmas where I got 25% off. So instead of paying $200 a month, it extends my payments. Now I'm paying less than $200 a month. So an average acre, which is about 1.04 acres, runs you about 200 bucks a month. So it would drop your payments by about 50 bucks. For some people, it's a big thing. Now, also, I want to make sure that Stephanie, because we did a special offer last week. This week we're doing a special offer again. I was actually over there helping clean up the property just the other day, and she has a special offer for you. As you guys know, she only sells them one piece at a time. But what she's doing right now is she wants to bundle them together because she understands. To the comments, I would love if I knew how to respond. You're doing good, Taylor. You're doing fine. All right. So, anyways, if you want to for a special offer just for this community, if you mention it, she's got a 2-acre bundle that she can do for you. It would be the 249 plus the $100 doc fee, and instead of paying $400 a month for the 2 acres, you would get it for 50% off. No, you're fine, Taylor. What's up, Matthew? Tuck and Taylor. Okay, all right. So please click like, it's free. Yes, thank you, Matthew. So anyways, those are the deals. Those are the deals that she's got going for this week. It's important. You should reach out to her. You can either call her if you go to her contact page. She's got her phone number. You can go to openairproperties.net. She's going to help you. She's going to help you fulfill your dreams if your dream is to own land. And she's going to not only do it ethically, but it's at a decent price. And I will tell you, compared to a lot of the restrictions you're going to get in the what's up, Cherokee? Compared to some of the restrictions that you're going to get in other places, at least where I'm at here in Arizona is one of the more relaxed areas. So this is kind of like a diamond in the rough. So if you can get 2 or 3 acres off of Stephanie for a good price, you're ahead of the game because you will have a lot more opportunities, because some of these places require that you have so much stuff set up. They don't even allow you to have a camper or even be on your land until you've completely built a house. So this is something to consider. So Matthew, so we had this set up as members only, but what ended up happening is I had a technical issue. We couldn't get it to go live, so I had to restart it. So this is open. I really appreciate it if you would be able to just kind of keep chat in line and stuff like that if you can. If you have any issues, do what you think's best. I would rather apologize than ask for forgiveness. So well, I may be in Iowa one day. All right, oh man, we've talked for about 5 minutes about this. We talked about the dark side of the moon in China. Did you get a chance to look into it?
Actually, no, I didn't. What you sent me, no, but I already knew that there was something going on there in on the other side of the moon with China. There's a whole lot of rare. Uh, Everyone's talking about rare earths and everything. This is
Mm-hmm.
rare gem, not rare gems, but rare moon dust or whatever you want to call it, lunar stuff. And there's a thing it's called meridium or iridium or something like that. Just like a little bit of it can probably have electricity for. You probably have electricity for the uh, United States probably for a year or so. But it's
Ion,
real.
I
No, no, not ion. It's called
no,
iridium
no,
or
no.
yeah.
I would no, no. There, I don't know. Yeah. There's supposed to be a special mineral that they found up there. I don't remember what makes it so good. But this is probably the beginning because they already want to start mining asteroids. The Chinese are going to be setting up a base there. They're already in the process. They've already got several missions. I think it's going to take them like 3 to 5 years to build. They're gonna build a base before the United States does.
You want to hear my theory on that? I think that the Chinese got in bed with Boeing and sabotaged Boeing, especially this Artemis program, and also the whatever space capsule they got going on right now. There was a joke when they reeled it out, and it's a joke now because it went up to space, and it's that one capsule that they threw away in the desert. As far as I'm concerned, it's a piece of crap, and they knew it when they put it up there. And I think the Chinese had a whole lot to do with that, and also puts a whole lot of the. If you look at the United States space program, a lot of that stuff used to go through Boeing. Now,
Really?
oh yeah, Boeing was like one of the top companies as far as space exploration. Actually, Boeing, Lockheed Martin, and
Well, that's the
another.
trifecta of the defense industry.
Yeah, and they were the ones who were responsible for getting the rockets up to the moon. So, but
But you know what? Elon Musk did it for cheaper and made it reusable. So I mean, I don't think like why would China sabotage them if Elon Musk was able to do such a better job?
what's that?
If Elon Musk was able to do that, what's up, Matt? If Elon Musk was able to reduce the overall cost because it was Lockheed, Lawrence Livermore, and then JPL, I think were the three that worked on that, and they were doing it for so expensive we couldn't afford to send people out into outer space. I mean, we built the space station, but that still isn't even functional because they're not building functional stuff. Now all of a sudden you got Elon Musk that comes on and he's got reusable rockets. They can come in, they can land, they can go up there. All of a sudden that saves a lot of money. So how is the Chinese sabotaging Boeing, and how is this hurting us in the space race? Matter of fact, it looks like we're doing
Because
pretty
here's
good when it
well,
comes to
no,
that.
here's the reason why I'm saying that I think the Chinese sabotage them. Because if you look at it, we put all of our marbles or put all of our money into Boeing as far as when it comes with the space race because they have a proven track record. Okay, cool, great. But the United NASA and the United States government put a lot of faith in them, and they ended up. If you remember right, a few years ago they divvied up like $100 billion or something like that.
Hmm.
Boeing and another company that partnered with Boeing, they end up getting the majority of it, whereas SpaceX ended up getting like about 2% of the $100 billion. And look what happened. The
Well, yeah.
Boeing pissed that money away, and I think that China had their hands in it because look at geographically where Boeing's at. Boeing is up in the Pacific Northwest near Seattle, and you've got a lot of spies. You got a lot of Asian people up there and everything else like that. And you know what? As far as space and everything goes, Boeing was the key company putting us up in space. And look how much it cost for us for the. It's costing us for the what Orion. I tell you
Uh-huh.
what, and the SLS. Man, we've wasted so much money. I wonder where that money's gone.
It's gone
Like,
into corporate buyouts, the bonuses and all that other stuff. So Matt has something that he says, "Hey, if you guys want me to read your question, I will get to them if I can. Just make sure
uh,
you
uh,
put them in all caps like Matt here." So he says, "I highly doubt that they are that advanced, probably talking about the Chinese, but I could be wrong because the Chinese are affiliated with Russia and Russia loves space stuff." Yeah, they were the first ones. They sent a monkey into space, and that's what forced us to send people to the
well,
moon.
well, the thing I got to say about China, China's always ahead of us, are right there by us because you know why? They're always stealing our secrets, and America can't keep our mouth shut, and we sell the secrets to them. Look at the military. We sold all the military secrets. You notice if whenever a sixth generation jet comes out, guess who
All of a
comes out
sudden, here
like
comes one from
Australia?
Russia and China.
No. China comes out with it next, and then Russia comes out with it, and then China and Russia they start collaborating together. Then China starts stealing Russia's stuff, and
Yeah.
they back engineer it. Man, that's all that stuff is crooked on the world stage, man. And also another thing I was looking at today is the colleges. I didn't realize how bad the colleges were. The colleges have been infiltrated through the bad characters around the world, and they're uh, having upheaval in the population. That's
You
what they're doing. And
hold on.
I mean, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but it took me a while to figure that out. But it's gotten bad.
Hold on. You remember when I got you to subscribe to Epoch Times? And you
Oh
started
yeah,
doing that whole expose. They were talking about that. I know you read it. You probably don't remember it, but I know you read it. Because Epoch Times talked about that in like 2020 because of the Chinese infiltration. Right now, OpenAI is really worried about it as well. They're already starting to plan. They already are anticipating that 30% of our code is going to be stolen by the Chinese to begin with. And it's all going to be done as an inside job because they come over here, they're they got the background, they got the education, they're some of the smartest men in the room. So they that gets them an in the door because they're better at math and science than we are.
well, I'm not. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I don't know. Well, I do, but all I'm saying is, America, you need to keep your wallets closed and your mouth shut.
Not
Okay.
gonna happen.
No, I'm just saying. At some point, that's where America's going to end up failing because our fellow Americans aren't looking out for fellow Americans. We're selling each other down the street, which reminds me of a of a union. Unions do the same damn thing. They'll go in there to a company, right? And they've got like 100 people, let's just say, and they'll say, and they're all making, let's say, $5 an hour.
Mhm.
Well, they all go up and they all go on strike, and they say, you know what? In order for you to get $10 an hour, we got to let 50 people go.
Yeah. What's
And
up,
guess
Skeeter?
what?
What's up, Edward?
Guess what? Guess what? The people in that union will say F their buddies and take the deal and say, sorry, dude, that's just the way it goes.
Well,
That's
of
why I don't.
course.
And in the United States and our population is doing the same damn thing. They're selling us down the street, down the road. Think
Okay,
about it.
hold on a second, because I was talking to my buddy Clyde about this the other day. Do you know where the term license originated?
When you get married.
No, happened way before then. A marriage is actually the marriage certificate in the United States was because of interracial marriages. They considered it bestiality. So there, it's marriage, yes, but it's a license. But what is the license? Where's the original? Do you know where it comes from?
No, but I just know it's meant to raise taxes. That's all.
No, no. It actually originates from the Catholic Church. See, back in the day, only clerics and clergy could actually read the title or read the scripture. So if anybody wanted to be able to read the Bible, it was considered illegal. You could go to jail, so on and so forth. So you would have to go petition the Pope, and the Pope would give you a license. And so therefore, a license became permission to do something otherwise considered immoral or illegal. So therefore we go to marriage, bestiality is otherwise immoral or illegal. So therefore we made it legal by giving you license to break the law. And so therefore what that does is it plants a seed in society and creates a causation effect, because what's good for the goose is good for the gander. That's what equality of law means, which means a rich person can do it, so can I.
Same you say the same way with divorce, and also you can also say the same thing with was it King Henry VIII? Remember when he wanted a divorce? What did he do to the Bible? It's the King James version now, whereas the original Bible didn't have divorce, where he wanted to have his advisors and everyone else tell him, how can I get out of this marriage? And
Yeah, he
and the
created
Catholic
the Church of
Church at that
England.
time didn't recognize divorce. Then that's when they came with the King James, and King James in that one says you can divorce. Probably in a roundabout way that it says it, but I don't know what it says word for word, but that's what it says. It says, go ahead and divorce your lady, and also it says probably cut off her head and kill her children too. Not really.
Watch the language, oh man.
Not really.
So
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
yeah, I know. It's just
It's
your
meant to be a
opinion.
joke. So anyway,
Um,
the
okay.
haters can't take a joke.
Well, yeah, you know what? Oh, dude, I've been doing so much research on the censorship. Part of the reason why I'm slowing down on live streams, other than just needing to have a moment for like my own mental battery recharge, is that it doesn't matter what I say. Um, I will never fit into the system, and so therefore they're not going to like what I say. So anytime I open my mouth and speak freely and unscripted, I'm kind of screwing myself. What's up, Skeeter? Fornication under consent of the king. Yes, that's my favorite one. Yes, fornication under consent of the king. That's what the f bomb means. Okay, so yeah, it's weird. You can smoke pot, but you can't talk about the C family. So I mean, get that. But anyways, what other articles have you come across that have interested you this last week?
Oh, you know me, I kind of get in a little bit of everything. I don't get into just space. I get into space, I get a lot of stuff, but football season's starting to kick around, and every time I think about football season, I think about all the fun that you and I used to have when you were growing up with Cowboys and stuff like that. We had some good times with the Cowboys growing up, but
How
this
about them
season,
Redskins?
yeah. Anyway, hey, they had a good season. Hey, I mean, I'm not like before where I used to get all mad and upset about the teams. Each team can have a. The, every team has an opportunity right now. Everyone thinks that they can win, but you know me, I'm a big Cowboys fan, so I've been following them, and it gets. And I started thinking about the Cowboy fans, and me being one, of course. It seems like every year Jerry Jones throws us a little bone. Here's a bone. Here's George Pickens. Here's a bone, you little peasants. Here,
Well,
peasants.
he's a businessman.
Yeah, and you know what? And then when he does that, guess what? The fans balloon it up like, man, that's the biggest dog bone I ever seen in my entire life. I'm gonna gobble that up and make it big. Guess what? George Pickens is the next coming of Michael Irvin. We're gonna win the Super Bowl now.
Well,
Man, I
everybody wants the triplets back. I mean, come on.
man,
I'm Emmett Smith, Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin. I don't know who made the team more, Emmett Smith or Troy Aikman. I think it was more Emmett Smith. But I mean, the
well,
Cowboys, though, if you're going to be a Cowboys fan, you got to resign to. It doesn't matter if you got the best record in the in the league. You're going to lose the first game of the playoffs, and if you make it to the first game, you're most likely going to lose the second game. Yeah, I mean,
oh
it's
no,
like the Cowboys choke.
no, we got the best quarterback in the whole wide world. You know why? We pay him $60 million a year. He's sorry and he sucks.
Didn't I called Dak Prescott. I called it. You kept calling me on it. I called you on it. So he has
Oh, come
never
on.
recovered, has he?
Yeah.
He never
Hey,
recovered.
Jason, come on, come over here. Jason's getting an ass whooping. Come over here. His dad's got his arm twisted behind his arm. Yeah, right, Jason. Okay, yeah. Go ahead. You go ahead and say, I called it. Yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, when he first
Yeah.
started throwing balls in the ground, just like Randall Cunningham, and it was right after he got the pokey pokey. You okay?
He got the pokey pokey. That just
You
didn't.
can't say the real thing here on YouTube. That's the sad part. You
That's
got
that's.
you. Yeah, it's a pokey pokey.
Oh,
You
call it
know.
pokey pokey. Okay, all right.
Yeah, and you got to call it the cough cough. You can't and
Uh,
if you got to be very careful. Unless you're a
yeah.
trusted channel, you can't get away
Uh,
with that stuff.
oh, so we'll just start going. Yeah, yeah. I know. I know. I know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. No. Yeah, yeah.
Pretty much.
Anyway.
Mm. But yeah, I don't know. How do the Cowboys look this year? The Giants going to beat them again?
No, we beat the crap out of the Giants last year.
I haven't followed the Cowboys in years, old man.
I
I
know.
followed them when I hang around you, and that's
That's
about
why I
it.
got a disadvantage on you right now. But let me tell you what's going on with the Cowboys right now. So just in case you decide to watch a game or two, and I'm going to mention it, especially when football season's coming up.
Uh-huh.
They're talking about how the Cowboys have done a good job on their offensive line, which they really needed to do. Now, I
Uh-huh.
think they had a horrible running game last year because their offensive line sucked. They took their first round draft choice and they drafted a guy out of Alabama. And the year before that, they drafted a guy named Guyton. I think he was out of Mississippi State or something like that. I'm not sure. But anyway, they drafted him. He was another number one. And then we got three number ones on that line, right? This year they should be really good. So with the good offensive line means hopefully that line will open up some holes and you'll have a good or a decent running game, which will open up the passing game. They've got a good offense. I'll admit that, but they still got Dak Prescott, and I'm not a big Dak Prescott fan. Now, if you go to the other side of the ball with the defense, teams
How's
going to
their
run all over.
cornerbacks?
Teams are gonna run all over them because they're so light in the ass in the middle because their defensive tackle they weigh an average of 280 pounds, whereas every offensive line in the league is weighing 320, 300. So
Mhm.
that's 20. You give them 30, 40 pounds, and you're gonna run up the middle. That's what I would do all day to the Cowboys, and that's what's happened to them the last 2 years. Is everyone's ran all over them.
Yeah, I got it. This is funny. You're gonna love this one. It says you get the jabby jabby, then you start to pout, and that's what it's all about. The hokey pokey song, old man. I thought it was funny.
Okay, yeah, ha 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 ha.
You got no sense of humor, old man. Uh,
No, 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 that's what it is.
yeah. Oh man, I still wish I had that video of you when we got you that Oculus. That was probably the perfect shot of you. Because you were looking for it, I hid your package from you. You kept coming looking for me. I got you coming out with it.
Oh, yeah, well, whatever.
You
That's
have to ask Denise; she'll remember it.
but
But
that's one of the nice things about getting old. You forget stuff like that. So there, I don't remember that. Ha ha ha. So
yeah.
you know what?
Anything.
In your own brain, in your own mind, you can smile about it. I can care less because I don't remember it.
Uh, okay, old man. I guess that's what. How about them Carolina Panthers? What the hell, man? I didn't even know they still existed. Like, do they even? Can they even like? Do they even compete in their division? I don't know, man. You'd know that more than me.
How the hell we get on the Carolina Panthers and
Because you were
dude, what are
talking
you
about the
doing?
Cowboys.
I know the Cowboys and how we get on the Panthers. The
You.
hell with the Panthers.
All right, old man. All right. So what? So what's your hopes? What's your hopes for this season? You guys gonna make the playoffs or what?
Uh,
No.
you know what? 50-50.
So it's a 9-7 season, or what
No,
is it? 10-8? Because they got what, 17 games now?
yeah, 17 games. Probably nine is what 9-7, probably 9-8.
9-8. Wow, that's good. That's like ever since Jimmy Johnson left, the Cowboys have never been able to recover. Like, is and why hasn't Jerry Jones is like he's got one of the wealthiest losing teams in America. Like, how do you do that and not get ran out as an
Hold on,
owner?
let me tell you something that I found out about Jerry Jones just recently. Me, I am a big Jerry Jones fan. I like him. He did very well, especially when the Cowboys when he took over and he won 2 championships. All right,
Hmm.
they had a chance to get three, but anyway. But
Yeah,
after he won his 2 Super Bowls, I think Jerry said he was just in it for the money. If you look at the way Jerry's been running that team, he doesn't care if you. He says he cares. He's getting old. Maybe he does. He's getting a little nostalgic about it. Maybe he does. I don't know. But
you
as
can
a
only lose so much
but
before you.
as a fan sitting back looking at the way he's running the team and everything, dude, you've had 30 what some odd years and no Super Bowl, and you made the playoffs maybe 2 or 3 times in that era, and you were one and out. And then you had Dak Prescott, the savior, when you should have kept Tony Romo. I don't care what anyone says. Romo was a better quarterback, and they should have put uh, um, Prescott on the bench when Romo was healthy. But no, and I understand. And what Tony Romo said, the NFL is a meritocracy. What have you done for me lately?
That's
So,
not a, yeah. Well, yeah. Okay, so Cowboys aren't going to make it very far. What about the Ducks this year? How are they going to do?
oh,
Hey,
that's
what's
good.
up, Kung Fu?
I
Go
don't
ahead.
know. I don't know. It's going to be I saw something like in one of the pinwheels today on YouTube
Uh
where
huh.
it said college football was in trouble. Do you know anything about that?
No, I don't follow sports. Once I stopped playing, I stopped following. So I haven't really followed sports
Oh yeah,
since
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
turned 18.
How far did you go up when you was playing? How far?
Huh?
How many years did you play?
Let's see. I started in fifth grade to what, my sophomore year in high school.
Okay, boy, them some long years, wasn't it? I could tell. Ooh, boy,
No, I loved it. I missed it, but
yeah.
once
No, yeah, I can see why. I can see why. I can
hey,
see.
oh man, you're trying, but you're reaching so hard you
No,
can't
no,
even
no,
find the
no. I
doorknob.
got you on this one. You got that brain going. It just took too much of a beating, is what happened to it.
Ah, okay, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's from staring at your ugly face.
No, it's all them beatings you took when you was a kid, and I chased you down the hallway with the crab with the claw.
Yeah, yeah, you can't even remember it anymore. You're trying to take patent rights for
I could do that. Yeah, I could.
it. Oh yeah, yeah. If you could do that, Denise would have already been all over it.
I'll quit.
So
Quit. You know what? Just even you talking about it, I can hear you hyperventilating in your voice. You just hear. I'm sure
yeah,
everyone else hears it too.
yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. So anything else going on in the space race, or anything else new that you've learned about like aliens or human
Oh,
origins and stuff like
oh,
that?
oh. The other day, when last week I had that brain fart, it was a big brain fart. I was trying
Really?
to, yeah, I was trying to get over something that I learned. I was trying to tell them what I learned about the color of people's skin. Did I tell you about
Okay.
this?
Okay. Explain this one to me, but tread lightly. You're on YouTube.
Well, no, no. There's a theory out there that way back in back in Egypt times. You know what we're talking about back
Yeah, 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 yeah.
like
Back in
38
there. Yeah, back in the
back
time of the
30,000
pyramids.
BC, right? Stuff like that.
Hmm.
And what they're saying is that that when they created this as servants to them. How's that? Is that better? Servants.
Well,
And
that's the stars
and
to
they
Mars we
did,
talked about.
but anyway, they didn't. So what they did is they created us in order to brand us. And when I heard this, it made so much sense. In order to brand us, you know what they did?
What?
They made us different colors because we belong to a certain. You know how like you have cattle and you brand your cattle. Same way they did with humans, but they did with the colors. Think about it. Kind of makes sense. It's a theory. It's not. I don't know. It's a theory, but I'm just saying. If you think about it, it makes sense. Think about it.
No, it doesn't make sense because if you really look at a planet, okay, And if we just, you know me, I
No, I'm
follow the
not
Meyer
talking,
stuff.
Jason. I'm talking about the human race, like cows.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Yes,
talking about.
I get that part, but let me give my 2 cents real quick, and then we'll debate it. But we even talked about the stars to Mars, but um, what ends up happening is each planet has its origin color. According to Meyer, there's like 27 skin colors or something like that. Just like Baskin Robbins, 31, whatever. But the thing is each skin color comes from a different planet. It's not that we're branded; it's that we come from different planets. The yellow people come from one planet, the black people come from another planet, the purple people come from another planet, the white people come from another planet. The natives here are the brown people. So that's still ambiguous because we don't know if we're talking about brown Native Americans or brown Hindus.
Now, see that's kind of like where when and we're going off of uh, what should we call it, mythical or mythic or middle age, not middle age, but medieval stuff.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, when we were created, and this is a theory, when we were created, the whole human race, like
Hmm.
dogs, just like dogs. You got like a different dog. You got a collie, you got a golden retriever, you got a boxer, you got a miniature here, you got a schnauzer. They're still dogs, but they're different. How are they different? They're different because of the way they're made, but they're still dogs. Now, if you look at humans, we're humans, but we're different colors. We're all humans, but we're different colors. You see the point I'm trying to make? We're all different
Yeah.
in that way, and that's how they discuss. They have ownership as far as our slaves as early as when we were the first Homo sapien.
I could see where your mind would go that way because there's so many holes in human origins. That's what makes it so fascinating. We don't really know where we originated at. Even when we uncovered Ardipithecus, we realized that it wasn't that our ancestors, our early ancestors, weren't in a savanna plain, but in like a lush forest. And stuff like that. Like we used to have 6 fingers and now we have five, things like that.
Where'd you
So,
hear that from? I never heard that. Six fingers.
yeah, they have found. I think Ardipithecus has 6 fingers.
Man,
You
you know what? That must have been one lucky dude. He got all the women, I bet.
no, it was actually a female. So yeah,
Yeah,
she got all the guys.
these
Man,
days,
yeah, she had that extra oomph. Yeah, okay, old man. Okay, I get where you're going there. All right, leave it alone.
anyway. Some people are slow, but that's okay, Joe.
All right, what's up, Wayne? All right. So,
Wayne, the bathtub. I'm wounding. Yeah, hey, Wayne. Hey.
okay, so that's interesting. Why do what makes you think, like, okay, why did you even choose that as something to even consider as fact?
I didn't say fact, Jason.
Well, it's a theory, it's a hypothesis. So therefore
Because
there had to be something that led you down that line to actually go, yeah, this is valid idea. Let me see if it plays out.
did you just hear what I told you, or what the answer
Yes.
about the dogs? And I also gave you another example. That wasn't a very good one. I thought the dogs was a real good example. That's what I'm talking about. And I would
But
hope
they
that
all have
y'all
one origin
would speak up
species.
and say, "Hey, your dad is right. You need to be quiet because he's right."
Yeah,
Mm.
okay, we'll see what
Dad,
happens. I'm
but Dad's right. Everyone, Dad's right. Jason's wrong.
okay. Okay. Um well, no, because like even dogs, they started off black as wolves, and then I don't know how there was like either an evolution or we chose to breed them with other crossbreed them with other animals or something along those lines to actually create the multiple breeds. All these breeds that we have are actually created by man. They're genetically manipulated.
You can say what you want. It's just a theory, and I would encourage other people to think maybe along those lines, to think differently and come up with a better idea. To me, I think that makes an excellent theory, and until someone comes up with a better theory, I think that's the one I'm going to go with. You know, and
Okay.
we're all because if you look at it, we're all in the inside. We're all the same. Just our melon color, our melon is different.
Yes, but I think it comes from being in different planets. That makes more logical sense because it's really peculiar that we have so many skin colors on this planet, and it
I
creates
wouldn't
issues and
say
divisions.
I wouldn't say peculiar because if you look at the black man was on purposely made black because of the heat in Africa. It keeps them warm and it keeps them. I don't know, but all I know is the reason why it has to do with the color and the sun and the heat and the weather is the reason why black was chosen for like in the hot areas. Because if you look at the Middle East is more like a lighter skin. Then if you go if you look in like in Europe where the Anglo-Saxon white guy is. Uh, he is like you and I, white. And then you go to like the Netherlands, they're more whiter than us. So you see what I'm saying? It depends. I agree with you. It depends on where you were at, but I think your color is based upon where your needs or your slave or your area of expertise was. That's all I'm saying. And my
Yeah.
theory could be wrong, and I could be way off, and people could be laughing and joking at me all they want. But I'm just saying, come up with something different. I'm throwing it out there. If you got something different, tell me. I'll listen to it.
Well, I've told you it was something different. I mean, it makes on because look at it this way: the melatonin that's in your skin, the amount of melatonin that comes in, is based upon your proximity to the sun. Okay, now let's say we go. Let's say a German space agency is going to go and find another habitable planet. They're going to look for something that is similar or equal to the climate that they're used to in their area because they're already climatized to it. That's where they're probably going to sit down because they already know that they've got the equipment, they've already got the body, the genetics set up for it.
Hey,
So to say that so if people came from different planets based upon like so let's say the black man comes from a different planet. Okay, in his planet it's much hotter. So therefore, part of the way his skin was that way. So therefore, he's going to go towards when if he were to come land on this planet, he's going to go towards more areas like that because that's more habitable. That's a comfort zone.
that's
Okay.
my point. That's my point. When they made it, when they made us, that's how they made us because of the hot areas on the earth.
Mm.
That's my point. You're making my point for me.
I'm not making your point for you. What I'm
Yes,
saying is they
you are
came from a
because they
different
made
planet.
because you know what, they had the knowledge of that. So what they did is when they created this, they gave us different colors for different parts of the earth because of the heat and just like what you said about the planets. It's the same thing. It's just the universe. Now you're just talking about just the planet itself. It's just more condensed. It's the same thing.
Okay.
Think
So
about it.
why would these overlords do this, and what was their purpose of gain?
More work, more productivity, more they were using us to mine. That's what they were using us for.
Okay. Um.
It's all about productivity and making money and keeping themselves alive for whatever reason they needed us to mine gold or whatever they wanted us to mine. But they use us
That
anyway.
goes with Zachariah Sitchin and the like the planet Nibiru and all that stuff. Um, I don't know. I think that there is some truth in it, but like I've always said, the devil will tell you nine truths to get you to believe the tenth lie. And so I think that this is one of those where they've weaved real facts or real truths and tried to kind of reach out for something because I don't know, maybe just because of what I've read, it just doesn't make logical sense to me. What do you guys in the audience think? Do you think it's more possible? So type one if you think that my dad's idea, like you think that it was that there was something, some outside forces that created the skin colors, or type two if you think that what I said, like we may have come from other planets, is more plausible. I'm curious to see what you guys in the audience think. And just a reminder, this episode is brought to you by Stephanie at Open Air Properties. If just for Memorial Day this weekend. You get a 249 deposit, the $100, excuse me, the 249 doc fee plus the deposit of $100. get you a piece of land and 25% off of any property that you choose to buy, whether it be an acre here or an acre somewhere else, because she's got acres in Arkansas, Colorado, and here in Arizona where I am at. So go ahead, old man.
Okay, who's Tara? You, I am.
Okay,
Both
yeah.
ideas are silly, aren't they? Well, if they're silly, tell me why they're silly. And if you got a better idea, if you want, contribute to the conversation. I would love to hear your idea.
I agree. Okay, so Invisible Man agrees with me. Kung Fu agrees with you. So I think you're wrong and your dad is right. Okay. Evening. What's up, DFH? I'm doing well. I hope you are as well.
Kung Fu's a
So
smart person.
um, but anyways, yeah. So right now we've got two people in here. One agrees with you. One agrees with me. One, two, maybe three. I'm not sure. Always leave it open to possibilities. Hi, Edward. Okay. So all right. That's
Oh,
interesting.
you
What
know
else?
what?
If
So, I was watching something today on YouTube, and I'm a big Billy Carson fan.
uh-huh.
He put a theory out there, or he may know this for a fact. You know, in one of the pyramids, the little sarcophagus that is broken and everything.
Mm-hmm.
He says that there's two. Um, what do they call that? The little square thing that they haul around.
Uh, you the oh, you talking about like the not the Ark of the Covenant, but
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah. They say he says there's two of them, not one but two of them, and that and he said, well, here's what really made it me think about it. He said, you know, when who is not it's Moses split the Red Sea. Supposedly, it wasn't a Red Sea, but
It was the Reed Sea.
what happened was Moses, the Pharaoh had let him go, but the Pharaoh didn't realize that he had taken the Ark of the Covenant, and that's why he ran after him. And he said at that time that's when they had an earthquake, and they had a tsunami. And like he said, you know how tsunami works. All
Yeah,
the
it sucks it out and then pushes it
yeah,
in. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So that's what happened. And he said that's the reason why the Pharaoh went after him. It's like, huh. In a way, that kind of makes sense because if the Pharaoh's going to let him loose, then the way history has it, the way I understand it, the Pharaoh lost his mind and said, I want him back and went chasing after him. Now I know why, if Billy Carson says that's correct, then he was trying to get the Ark of the Covenant back because they had stolen it. And it kind of makes sense because that's when you start hearing about the Ark of the Covenant is probably about that time in history, in biblical history. Think about it. Just saying.
Yeah, well, yeah, because the was it the Temple of Solomon or something like that. That's where the Ark of the Covenant was supposed to reside. Have you heard? Okay, so there's an island over here off of Greenland or something like that. History Channel did a big thing about it. They're saying that the Vikings and possibly even the Knights Templar, as they were getting raided in, I think it was like the 1300s, like Friday the 13th, as they were on the run from the French forces, they escaped, and part of the holdout was some of them came out here west and they buried the treasure, and they say that the Ark of the Covenant's actually there. And so there's been people that have been trying to get into it, but every time you get into it, or you think you get in, you flood the mines because it's like one of those traps that you gotta like like a finger trap or something like that. It's booby traps, so people can't get in it, but people have been trying for a couple hundred years to get at that, and not a single person has been able to get at that. Millions and billions of dollars have been thrown at it, not a single person.
Hey, look what Terra you I Terra
Okay,
whatever.
so way back like 10,000 years ago, every person was dark skinned. It's melanin which protects from UV radiation. The problem is that places with longer winters need vitamin D is very important for good bones. Okay, yes. Sylvester says Oak Island. Yes, Oak Island. So yeah, that's just like I think it was off the coast of Nova Scotia or something like that. It's right there off of
What what
um
what
so
about that?
this, so the less dark skins ones had more healthy bones children, for example. Huh. That's interesting. I'd
Oh,
like
that's
to hear.
yeah.
I Tara, if you like one, I want to see your credentials. You say you're a biologist. I want to do that. But if you would like to send me an email, friartuck@hobotuck.com. When we do it, me and my old man, this is for legacy. This is to and stuff. But next week when him and I talk, we will cover that, and then maybe even him and I'll have a little bit of a talk. But if you really want to make your case, this isn't the place. I would rather read it in an email, have a time to vet it, and also have a time to check your credentials so that I can, verify that you are a biologist. Because by all means, we want, truth. We're not. I mean, we could sit back and speculate because it's fun, but we also seek truth. So those kids were a little more likely to survive. If you keep up slightly healthier, means even more kids of yours surviving. Okay, well, I mean that makes sense because infant mortality is basically what causes populations booms and busts. I mean,
Okay.
it
Yeah.
boils down to it. But okay,
That's
so
yeah, that's a good yeah. I'd like to hear the facts on that. That sounds like real plausible. So, like I said,
well, I
I'm
mean,
open to hear any plausible theory or whatever, and if it turns out to be a fact, then that's fine. That's cool. You learn. I'm here to learn something and here to move on and understand who we are and where we came from. There's nothing like you know what? There's nothing like not knowing where you came from. I know,
yeah.
and I'm just saying it's important to everyone to know where they came from. And I believe that the human race, we don't have that innate feeling or that
We don't know
want,
where we came from. There's
yeah,
still that question.
because we don't know and we don't care, and we've lost the memory, we've lost our history, and where have we been? Who knows? So we've lost, man. Humanity's lost their memory, and trying to find it and know what we've done, where we've been, it's hard. So, and there's been a lot of people, or a lot of, I should say, species that have taken advantage of the human race, and we're lucky to even be here where we are right now. You know, not only
Um, I mean, well, like every organism, if you could say that about because it's like a 1 in 1 billion or 1 in 1 trillion chance that you will actually survive and live. I mean, the the odds of survival just to be human, the things that we take for granted, we don't realize that we have learned how to beat the numbers through evolution. So yeah, I agree with Kung Fu. Everybody likes a good mystery. But I don't know. I think it's interesting. I mean, we can sit back and speculate, but until according to Meyer, the answer to human origins is going to come out of South America. I don't think it's been discovered yet. Maybe it has, and we're just waiting for news to come out. Because, I mean, Ardipithecus, it took them 10 years before of digging and research and all that stuff before they finally came out and made a documentary on what was like the Discovery Channel. So, I mean, it takes a long time for this information to come out, at least for humans.
you know, I think I might be opening up a can of worms here, but I want to do it anyway.
All right.
I think humanity has been fooled to the point where we've been lied to about Adam and Eve and the Garden of Eden. And if
Um,
and if is that easy? Can we talk about that or no?
Yeah, as long as it's not good, doesn't go politics or
No,
against government power. So
no. Okay, but again, thinking outside the box and getting your mind working here is what we're here to do.
yeah,
Now, think about um, what was I going down? What avenue I was going down?
you were talking about how the Bible was
Oh, yeah, Adam and Eve.
how
Yeah, Adam and Eve.
yeah, Adam and Eve.
So Adam and Eve, they were both created, and it's Inky or what one of the other guys, Inky or golly, I can't think of the name. Anyway, what
You talking
happened
about
was
David Icke?
no Inky and someone in the audience help me please, Inky, and we're talking about uh, anyway when we were created.
Mhm,
God told Adam and Eve to stay in the Garden of Eden. Well, supposedly the snake came by and coerced uh, Eve to eat the apple, right? The knowledge. Well,
mhm.
why wouldn't you want your the whole thing is the devil is not the devil that's portrayed in the Bible. The roles, if you look at it, the roles are turned around. All right, because the devil, if you think about the snake, he's the one who talked Eve into biting the apple of knowledge and gave the knowledge to human beings, which what we have right now. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people say that was a sin to do, but yet knowledge, who's to say that knowledge isn't good?
Mm-hmm.
God, I would say that God would be more than happy to give you all the knowledge that you want. Wouldn't a good, mighty, happy, willful God want you to have all the knowledge in the world? But yet, when you're in the Garden of Eden, He tells you not to eat of the apple of knowledge. That
Yeah.
doesn't, to me, that doesn't even make any sense.
You got skeeters in the
So
house?
huh?
You got skeeters
No,
in the house?
no, I'm in the garage.
Oh,
Anyway, so yeah, so that's one of the reasons why I wouldn't. I've fallen away from Christianity, but then when people say that I don't believe in God, I say no, I believe in God. I just don't believe in the God that you guys believe in, because if you think about us as a human race, human species, very young, we don't know anything, and we see these people or these aliens coming from outer space, and first thing we say, "Oh, that's heaven. Oh, heaven, there must be a God." Think about how smart or how dumb we were at that time. We were pretty stupid,
I'm
okay?
glad I've rubbed off on you, old man.
But I'm just saying. Then we said that there were guys, and it gets, if you think about it, it makes a whole lot of sense.
Well, are you
Yeah.
familiar with the Gnostic Gospels?
No, the
Okay,
gospel.
so
Hey, are you familiar with the gospel 12 or the gospel
no,
12?
no, 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 the Gnostic Gospels.
Mhm.
Okay, the 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 Gnostic Gospels. Just so you guys know, he's in Florida, guys. He's got mosquitoes. Like those things are. It's like they're their own air force or some shit. But anyways, the Gnostic Gospels is like this. Um, essentially, it was when the schism happened between the Eastern and Western Orthodox Church. Which is part of the reason why we're after Russia to begin with. They had a difference in opinion. They accepted different books, but they also had a difference in the way that they saw the devil. See, in the Gnostic gospel, they see him as somebody necessary. He's more like the guy that gives you the stumbling blocks so that you can learn, so that you can get uh, you know. It, I don't know how exactly to explain it. My teacher was able to explain it so much better.
But
But
he was the guy who told Noah there was a flood coming, the devil.
it wasn't the devil. It wasn't the
It
devil,
was
was it?
him. It was, yes, it was him. If you look at it, it was him.
I thought
He's
it was God.
no, no. God is the one who everyone look it up. I could be wrong, but I mean, maybe my demented, twisted mind is totally wrong. You know, it's on jelly or something. But the way I see it is God uh, was the one who told us not to eat from the forbidden fruit, but yet the devil came in and saved us. And uh, during the flood, it wasn't God that came down, because God was saying, "Oh, these humans they're so loud. I want to kill them." So the it's Inky, who is considered to be the devil, went and told Noah that the earth is about ready to be flooded, and you know the rest of the story. Go look,
Okay.
go look.
You might be making reference instead of Inky, maybe Loki,
Yes,
because
yes,
Loki
yes. Inky
Nordic
and
is the
Loki,
Nordic devil essentially. He's a
right?
trickster,
But then,
and
yeah,
that's
but
the Eastern
then if you look
Orthodox.
at
That's how they believe in him.
But then again, if you look at it, the devil is what? The symbol
What's
of
up,
the
Craig?
snake. He's a symbol of the snake, but yet our pharmacy and everything else has a stick and has two snakes on it.
Well, do you understand what his name Lucifer really means? Uh, what this he was Lucifer's Lucifer Morningstar, or um he was supposed to be the most beautiful of all of the angels, but he also had the most wisdom. And so therefore the snake represents wisdom, because he wanted to show man that they could be equal to God, and God wanted subservient, obedient, servants instead of free thinking individuals who built themselves on knowledge. So I mean, yeah, I mean that right there would I mean, at that point in time it starts becoming more like most Christians have, what do you call it, Stockholm syndrome at that point.
Right. And you can believe what you want to believe, but I'm just saying I believe that there is a God, there is a creator. But it's not these people that came to earth saying that they were gods, because they weren't. They were aliens taking advantage of the human race, and we were too damn dumb to figure it out, and we were just a new species. We didn't know, so we called them gods. They're not gods.
No, I don't think it's a species thing, because if you look at what happened post World War II, this is a very big study. It's very well known what happened to one of the islands that we used as a landing strip to be able to bomb Nagasaki and Hiroshima. We were dropping food. So after we left, they didn't know what happened. So they built an idol of a plane, because that's what was dropping them food, and worshiping it, hoping that the food would come back. Because somebody said, probably either to keep from hysteria or something along those lines, hey, look, let's build a plane. They'll bring all that food back. We can live fat and happy again.
It's the same. It's the same thing in the Bible when Moses went up to Mount Sinai and he left his people down there, and they took everyone's gold and made a golden cow, and they worship a golden cow.
Mm,
Same thing. It's you could see it in human history. We worship anything that moves. If a bug would get up and start stomping people out and say, "I'm the Almighty," whatever, and I'm just playing around, the
yeah.
humanity would say, "Yes, you are the God Almighty." Humanity, we ain't as smart as we think we are. We're pretty damn stupid.
Yeah, sometimes our arrogance gets the best of us. But that's also a vulnerability that we need to be able to balance things out. Um, because once you're at the top of the food chain, you got to have vulnerabilities that get you out. Are you are you getting overheated there, old man?
No, just a couple of mosquitoes. I'm good. So, but yeah,
Okay.
I'm just loving the conversation. It's good. This is a conversation I love. But yeah, I think I think every human being has that innate thing in them that you need to know where you come from. We know we came from our mom and dads, but where as a human species have we come from? Who are we? Who created us? Why did they create us? Why is everyone so in the dark about our creation? Why can't we
Mike,
remember anything? Why is our history so vague? Why is it a secret? They're hiding
um,
something. Why are they hiding it? What is it the old saying? The American people can't take it. They can't take the truth.
oh yeah,
I
like
can
in A
take,
Few Good
I,
Men, Jack Nicholson. You can't handle the truth. Yeah.
but yeah, but I'm just saying. Now,
Well,
now,
you
the
you remember.
human race is starting to wake up, and I think we want more answers. And you know what? We're going to go down the same. I think we're going to go down the same old route. Is we're going to listen to these stupid people they put in charge, and they're going to lead us off the straight, just uh, like a bunch of lemmings. That's all we
Because we're
are, a
too
bunch
busy
of lemmings.
looking for a leader instead of standing on our own knowledge. Oh, Craig says you can do garlic necklace for bugs.
Uh, but
Yeah.
but you know what? You know how hard it is for me to discuss this in a church. That's
Oh,
why I
they
don't
don't want to hear it.
Yeah, that's why I don't go to church anymore, because exactly they don't want to hear it, and then they want to blow you off like, oh, whatever. Yeah, I kind of believe in that. Well, why do you believe in it? Well, I got, and it's like, dude, why don't you answer my questions? They don't want to answer any of my questions. Just just like the answer I've been looking for over 2 years is, how did the emerald tablets and Jesus come across each other? I figured it out finally. It was right
Which
there in front
was.
of my face. Huh?
Hmm?
It was right there in front of my face. We talked about it. Remember, I told you during when Jesus, the angel whatever came down and told Joseph to move because they're coming to kill the babies. Well, he went when they left. He went to Egypt for some schooling or whatever. He did travels up until he was 12 years old, or something like that. And he traveled around the world when he was a kid. You can never find any writings of where Jesus was at when he was a kid and when he left Jerusalem when they were slaying all the babies. Now, then he shows up on the donkey no one knows where or what he was doing during that time. But there is history that says that he was in Egypt. And they've even got in Egypt, they've also got a house where he lived in during that time. And that's where he learned all the alchemists and all the reincarnation and everything else like that. So there's a lot of stuff that we don't know about Jesus, especially his growing years. It'd be really fascinating to know what he learned and where he went.
Okay. Have you read he was out of Lampasas, which is right outside of Fort Hood. So he's out of Lampasas. The guy's name is Michael Powell. He wrote a book called Jesus in India. You should read that book. He's given lectures on it. It's very interesting. There's a guy in India that's actually trying to trace his roots all the way back to Jesus, so therefore he can say that is his posterity. There's actually a guy trying to prove it. And there was also something that happened in the 60s when the Dalai Lama passed, that they opened up all the records, and this guy that was an author tells the story that he goes in there and he sees pictures of Jesus, but he's known as the rabbi from the East.
Have you ever heard of the 12 Gospels?
12 Gospels, that's Gnostic.
What?
Isn't that part of the Gnostic Gospels?
No, what is agnostic? Non-believer?
No, Gnostic was the schism in the church. People like there was a difference, just kind of like how Martin Luther did his thing. There was
Okay,
a there was a difference.
all I know is it's what I call the 12 Gospels. What it is the 12 Gospels that was left out, and they say it's the 12 Gospels of Jesus when he was in Egypt.
Okay, yeah, you're talking
I
about the
could be
Gnostic Gospel.
I could be wrong about that, but that's what it's called. It's called the 12 Gospels.
You
All right,
should look
and
into the
there's only
Gnos.
hold on. There's only like maybe 3 or 4 originals in the entire planet. And I got a photocopy of it, and it cost me a little bit of money. I haven't sat down and read it yet, but man, it's full of good stuff.
Hmm.
What's that? Ultimately, who knows creator?
Okay, yeah. I don't know. The guy, he's chatting. He's not doing anything, out of line. So I'm just letting it go. Um, if Matt thinks that, because Matt's paying more attention, if Matt thinks that there's an issue, he can deal with it. I trust him. um but I've been watching and just kind of keep an eye on it. Guy seems, he's being straightforward. He's participating in a healthy and constructive way, so I don't see an issue with it. But I'm really, like I said, you're gonna have to email me if you want to, like, for your biology thing for that. But the
Uh,
rest of the stuff, so he says, he's basically saying, who is he to know the plans of his creator? Maybe he should be humble and just accept that I may not comprehend the creator's will. It's a being so very different from little old me. Um, it's
you
not
know,
about questioning it;
you
it's
know what?
about
A lot of people
understanding
that
it.
feel that way. I feel that way too. I mean, what the hell? I mean,
Mm,
you got to you. Everyone, you know what? When I go to church, everyone tells me when they see me, I show up like special occasions like Mother's Day, Christmas, stuff like that. But when I show up, they say, "Oh, welcome back, welcome." Man, I'm not back. I'm just here, just for support for my wife and stuff like that. You can believe who you want, what you want to believe, but you know what? To make peace in the house and make the wife happy, you have to go to church every once in a while. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, you and her have had that talk. I know, when I was there, you were in that waffling phase. I'm surprised because you used to go every Sunday. I see that doesn't happen anymore. But I think here's the thing: if you look in nature, everything is created with a purpose. One of the coolest things that I've learned recently is the turtle. Do you know what the turtle does?
turtles do many things.
What's the primary purpose of the turtle? What does it do? What's its primary function in nature?
Well, the ones I know, like gopher turtles, they dig.
Terraforming. Basically, when you got like rivers and valleys and all that stuff, like all that lush green you see, without a turtle you wouldn't see any of that. It would just be barren land like what I got out here. Turtles are basically nature's terraformers. They create lush green areas wherever they go. They set up the water system, the irrigation system, whole nine yards. That's their whole purpose. Human beings, what is our purpose?
Where'd you learn that from?
I learned it online because the girl I was talking to was fascinated with turtles, and I remember so was Papa. So I looked into it. I wanted to see what the purpose of turtles were. Happy wife, happy life. Yes, hero and a half shell. Yes. Um. So But anyways,
So
just
you know what? Why it snows?
why?
You don't know why?
No, because it gets cold.
No, it puts oxygen in the ground.
Did not know that.
Yeah, I
See,
didn't know that. A friend of mine told me that years and years ago, and it's like, who cares? I didn't think snow did anything. I just falls okay. No, snow puts oxygen, oxidizes the ground. It's like, oh, didn't know that. Cool. So anyway,
yeah, that's all. I mean, I don't know. It's just, but again, what's the purpose of humans? What is a human supposed to do? What are we here on this planet for? If a turtle has a purpose, if a squirrel has a purpose, if a dog has a purpose, if a tree has a purpose, if a bug has a purpose, and it all fits into the big old plan, okay, then what is our purpose as human beings?
first of all, you make an assumption that it fits into a big old plan. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. You
Well,
can't
look at an
wait.
ecosystem.
You can't sit there and assume what God has already said is going to be done. So you know what the first letters of assume is. So that being said, no, I'm not going to assume that. And if you want, you can go ahead with your hypothesis, please.
Okay,
After I
humans.
destroyed it.
No, humans are here as caretakers. We are the final evolution of a planet. So just like as you get old, you need to be taken care of, you need to be managed and stuff like that because your body's kind of getting old. Well, same thing with the planet. I think that it's final evolution as human beings, and we're here as caretakers. Because as I've read in Meyer's stuff, there are different planets that still have dinosaurs on them, and there are planets that are pre-dinosaur, and there are different stages of evolution. And if you sit back and just use deductive reasoning, from at least from what he explains, from what I've read from him, is that humans are the final stage of evolution. This is when a planet is ready to keel over and no longer exist. Then that's when humans come about, because we're here to take care of it. But instead, because we've been led astray by outside forces, because again the prime directive was violated, instead of us being caretakers of nature, we've become destroyers.
Uh, can't argue with. Well, I guess you can argue with that all you want, but I just anyway.
What you missing, old man? Sounds like it took the wind out of you.
No, no. I just wanted to get off on something else. The
What do you
origin.
want to talk about?
Well, the origin thing is pretty fun to talk about and everything. But
Hmm.
I also like talking about. Have you been following Elon Musk with the Starship?
I don't follow it, but I know you do. Tell me.
Man, man, man! I got so many ideas on how he could put spaceships up in space. They're talking about bringing shooting a rocket up there, right?
Uh-huh.
You have you have a booster that lifts the rocket up, so it's two pieces. You got the booster and the rocket. Well, they take this booster, lift the rocket up, and then they want to bring it back to the ground, right?
Hmm.
Well, why the hell you want to do that? What you do is you build a rocket on top that goes with that booster. You can put either two boosters or put one booster on it, max the weight out, put it up in space, leave it up in space, don't bring it back to Earth, and you can repair it or fix it up like it's brand new before you take it out on a journey and use and go around the solar system and visit each planet. And you would have like little like remember in like in 1969 when the limb landed on the moon. You have little spaceships like that go and land on Mars and then shoot back up to the spaceship after they've
Hmm.
done the research, and then they go visit every planet like that, and then come back to Earth, find out what they've discovered, and have like a little space station, dock up with a space station, and then have those people go back home and have another set of people load up and get ready to go on that ship and go out to the solar system and uh, mine it, and if we make any contact with life, that's even better. But the way they're doing it, it's waste of time and money. Fix
Well,
something,
hold
get
on.
it up there in space, and then build it. Just build it.
Okay.
They could do.
Um.
They could put so much weight up there now. They put like 100 million tons up there or something like that.
Okay. But here's and yeah, we got all that space junk out there. But my thing is, we've already tried to do that. That's what the space station was supposed to be. We assembled it, but it's not going anywhere. It was an over budget failure. Uh,
No, no. The only thing the space station was for research, and
I
and and the pharmaceutical companies finance a lot of that too because they got a lot of research out of
I was under the impression that they were
it.
supposed to be building an interstellar vehicle, and that was the whole point of having the space station there. I remember being told that when I was younger. That's why I was like, "Well, when are we gonna go? When are we gonna go interstellar? It doesn't even look like it's gonna go anywhere."
That's just like when in 1969 I was 9 years old. They told me they were going to have bases on the moon by now. What the hell happened?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's one thing.
Just
So,
saying.
use a real space station, repair refueling in the 1950s and early 1960s. Figured for. Okay, so they already figured that out in the 60s. Yeah,
Yes, you know what? I saw. He is right. I saw an article here just recently. The project was called Project Nova, and
Project Nova.
you know the reason why I would remember that name.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
anyway, they made this. It's called Project Nova. Go ahead, Jason. I gotta get some water.
Um, well, no, I was just I was gonna say that yeah, Craig is probably about 10 years older than you, so you and him probably have a lot more memories in common than most people in here.
Well,
So
anyway, what I was going to get back to is the project was called Nova, and it was supposed to be like a one shot rocket where it would lift off and it wouldn't go orbit or anything like that. It would just go straight to the moon. Well, they figured out it would work and everything, but like early 1960, the reason
mm.
why they stopped it is because they didn't have anything big enough to facilitate it like they do now.
Well,
Now,
yeah, because
now
they
hold on,
had to lift a
wait.
heavy object.
No, no, it's too big. It was in girth and in height. But anyway, what they were going to do is uh, they were going to SpaceX found the design and everything. They're seeing if they can work with the design and everything, and maybe use Project Nova, which they can probably put in those big old mega bays they got now, and they can do a one shot, one trip back. So anyway, just what I saw. I don't know if they're going to do it or not, but it sounds pretty cool.
Hmm. Um, yeah, that would be I don't know. I'm worried about Interstellar because Myers actually talked about us going interstellar. At first, we're going to start harvesting the asteroid belt and the moon, and then from there, we're going to start going out. But his explanation is our first spacefaring missions are going to end in cannibalism. That's why it's like when I hear people talk about, oh yeah, I want to go out into space, I'm like, no, I don't want to be cannibalized because that's what's going to end up happening. Because resources screw ups. It's our first time. We don't know what we're going to do. It's going to
Well,
get sent out into space and never come back.
check this out. Elon Musk said something interesting a few months ago, or maybe said it before,
Uh
but I was thinking about it too. You know, he's making these robots.
huh.
Uh,
He
he's
says, hopefully they don't go for Uranus.
probably. So anyway, they got these robots. Have you seen how they are like almost humanoid?
Uh huh.
So anyway, he's saying within the next 26 months or whatever the next window opens for Mars, he's
Uh huh.
shoot he's shooting the Starship towards Mars, and he's going to put Optimus is what he named the robot.
Yeah, yeah.
Optimus on there, and then uh, the plan is to have Optimus build things before humans get there, and that way they've already got a city and everything else done prior to us getting there. That's the plan. And it sounds like a pretty good plan to me, but I like mine better, where you just build a big old spaceship up there with the huge rocket you got and go through the whole entire solar system. That'd be
Yeah,
so awesome.
I think the logic here is you got to get somewhere to understand the logistics chain. And I just saw something the other day. Apparently, Elon Musk's goal with Optimus was to get it down to a cost of $15,000. He finally got his Gen 3 down to $15,000.
Yeah, I heard.
So yeah, and what that means is, okay, so like when I own my cleaning business, that's a full-time employee, and I save about $10,000 a year, even in a low skill, no skill job like cleaning. Okay, to have a robot like that for 15 grand, that you realize how many that's gonna be really disruptive to the job market. Mm. 21st century Ranger probes. Elon Musk also says plenty of dumb things. He said we will have self-driving cars on the road like 5 years ago or something. Um, well, you know what? Everybody makes predictions. People have been saying by 2030, we will have ASI, and now they're saying by 2027. And then there's people saying no, we don't even have the right language. People have the right to speculate, and it's a goal that they're reaching. I wouldn't really like hold them accountable for it too much. He's an innovator. He's trying to do something that we've never done. There's a lot of stumbling blocks that we don't see. So on some instance, I would say give him a little bit of latitude on that.
Mm.
So that's the point of it all, is to find ways where it's feasible, economically viable to go interstellar. Yes, but the thing is, what we use to send people to space may be also what takes over everything here on in the country as well. So
Mm. I'm getting my Sahib towel. Yeah, 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 yeah.
hey, old man, don't.
Oh, what?
Hey,
What?
don't.
I'm trying to
All
get
right.
mosquitoes away. That's what they do.
Yeah, yeah, I
You ever
understand
see
that,
that?
but no, not on YouTube. Oh man, that's gonna get me in trouble.
Uh,
But anyways, he's saying that's the point of it all, is to find ways where it's feasible, economically viable to go interstellar. Um, I think that yeah, I think that going interstellar is great, and I that would circumvent cannibalism, but um, still we I don't know. I think that there's gonna be so many different learning curves that going across space is probably going to be one of the most heinous things that human beings will have to endure. But I think that it's also part of our natural evolution, in the same way that we are the final evolution of a planet. Once our planet ceases to exist, we learn how to repopulate other planets. And I think that's how this planet got populated. He wants to make rocket travel around the world where you can go into orbit and then come back down to Earth, New York to London in 30 minutes. Why? What's the purpose? You know,
supply. Talking about supply. You're talking about money. You're talking about war. You're talking about medical supply. You're talking about people. You're talking about engines. You're talking about stuff that needs to be put over overnight. You can get it there in 3 hours. In some places, it's very important to have it overseas in 3 hours. If you can make that promise and get it through, it means a lot of money. So yeah.
did you hear? So Redacted did a story where they're talking about our government has portals. And people are able to walk through the portals, and this is how we're getting troops across the country. This is or across the world, all over the place. And so we figured out some way to do portals. So yeah, so it says quantum computing will change everything. Modern encryption can't stand up to it. Everything will be accessible by anyone. That's what Salty Ed. Yeah, but here's the thing: once everything's accessible, then what? The reason why we seek things out is because it's rare and it's delicate. That
Mm.
is where real knowledge comes from. So if we've got knowledge at our fingertips, what is our next quest? Um,
Oh, I know what the next quest is. I'll tell you. AI.
what?
AI. You hear about all this stuff that's happening with AI and
Okay.
building all those power plants and stuff in Arizona and in the desert, and they're talking about building all these little small nuclear plants. They build like one a year, and they just connect them together.
Mhm.
And Trump had a big old ceremony in his office today, and he signed a big whatever it was for energy. And I'm going to tell you right now, energy, electricity, and everything else, it's going to take off really fast. Watch. I think in the next 10 years, you're going to see a big difference in America.
I don't know. I use AI every day. I even pay for a subscription to Chat GPT. Even though there's a lot of flaws in it, it has a very, very long way to come. I think 2032, 2037 is probably a more likely window of time where we get ASI or advanced super intelligence. Um,
They also got quantum computing too.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. We were just talking about that. But here's the thing, it's not about computing, it's about reasoning. Okay. So right now, okay, so the way that YouTube, because Google, if you go on to Google, there's a tab up there now. They just released it like a week or two ago, where Google has its own AI, which is powered by Gemini, I think, which is the Google AI. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, the way that large language models work is it's looking for keywords. So if you say certain keywords that increase your risk profile on YouTube, therefore it flags it, even if you're using it in proper context, because it doesn't have that advanced reasoning skills. So therefore, a lot of content creators. Even if they're using it in proper context, are getting censored or throttled back for one reason or another. So large language models are definitely not the answer because it's still limiting. It's narrow artificial intelligence. Until we get to a point where artificial intelligence has advanced reasoning skills, I don't really think the AI is going to take off the way that we think it is. It's a good tool. Excuse me. It helps me get like 3 days worth of work done in a day. But also at the same sense, I have to do a lot of course correction on it, and it has limited memory. So when I try and put like certain things in there that I wanted to remember, it I have to go in there and delete it over time because it can't hold everything. So there are so many limitations to it right now. Yes, it's in its infancy, but there are there are
But you're looking at 10 years. I'm saying 10 years from now. That's
well,
all. Yeah.
but they're predicting 3 to 5 years from now is what they're saying. No, 90 million jobs will be lost in 5 years over AI. That's how much of the workforce is going to get automated. So out of 150 million jobs, we've got probably about 70% of the workforce that's being automated. What?
We're going to go through a period in our history, just like we did remember when the automobile was invented, then we had the factories, and Ford invented the factories, and Union and civilization just took off then. I think once space starts getting colonized and we start living up there, you're going to see that again. And I think you're going to see it when it comes back even more and better with technology, because I think you're seeing right now. Uh, I've been looking at the news since Trump's been in office, and I saw what he did overseas with Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Oman, and wherever he went. Right,
Yeah, oh yeah. Qatar actually just
but
they're in the
but here's
process of whole AI governance.
But here's my point. If you look at their cities and look at ours, I remember Trump saying that we live in a third world country, and I said, no, we don't. Now I look on TV and I see all the countries over there, Saudi Arabia and them. They got some nice cities. We should have nice cities, if not nicer.
Well, they're living off of oil profits and the petrodollar.
But you know what? They are changing their main export, import, whatever you want to call it, because they know they can't live off of oil forever, and that's pretty smart of them to do. And they're changing over to a tech was a technocracy,
Technocracy.
whatever you call it. But anyway, it's supposed to be really good, and I've seen what they've done. It look like they're doing really well. And China, yeah, I was looking at China and looking at Saudi. Saudi Arabia much better than China. China, they're a bunch of thieves, and they don't care except for putting money in their pocket, and that's all they care about.
I think that there's something a little bit more behind it, but yeah, I could see that point. Um, so one thing is they have they Abu Dhabi just added AI as its city manager. It's going to be recommending zoning laws, taxation, and stuff like that. So they're going to tell the AI when it wants it to do, and then it's going to use policy to make that happen. So therefore, this is the implementation of 15-minute cities. This is how it'll end up happening. Um, China has finally decided to start using artificial intelligence in their schoolrooms starting next year. The United States under Doge and what Elon Musk did, he did it under the radar. But apparently, our educational programs are going to be starting to be done by artificial intelligence. They're already starting to train teachers to kind of be the guardrails. This is why I even talked about digital literacy and why it's so important.
Cool.
And why it's I don't know, it's a red herring. It's not real.
Hey,
So
I want to bring up to you. Remember years ago when you first moved in, and you and I were talking, and you said that, and this is when Trump was in office, and
okay.
it's right around election time, and you were saying, yeah, in Billy Meyer's book or whatever you were reading, you said, yeah, Trump's gonna be locking up American people. He's gonna be shooting them, he's gonna be locking them up and put them in jail and stuff like that. I always remembered that. And now, in a way, if you look at it, it's happening.
Yes, because he just directed the DOJ to start looking at ways to criminalize homeless because during his first term, he tried to put homeless in internment camps. But the DOJ stopped him. That's why him and Barr had a big problem, was mostly over that. So now he's figuring out a way to do the legal process. That's why he's got Pam Bondi working on that. Pam Bondi is also working with the Department of Defense to look at ways of circumventing posse comitatus. And as a soldier, what do they teach you about posse comitatus?
Just the basic rule
Which
that
is
it's almost like what is like oh, what's the one with the space thing where you don't interrupt with the community? Anyway, oh, the shit. So I'm tip my tongue now.
all right.
It,
Well,
anyway, posse comitatus. What they tell you in basic training is that you cannot the president cannot order unless it's through an act of Congress or something like that. But we never talked about it, and it was never a consideration. So if it was talked about, it was talked about in generalization, and it was told to me years ago. And the only thing I know about it is that I know about it. That's it.
okay. So my next question is, how is the military brass going to handle it? You know more about the officer ranks than I ever will.
Well, the thing is, every soldier, no matter what rank, has an obligation to disobey an unlawful order, or that you feel is unlawful. If you feel that order is unlawful, you don't have to follow it. But I also think, and you also have to remember, if you're wrong, your ass getting court-martialed, your ass going in jail or in the brig or at 411, but they're going to make an example out of you. But you better be right.
Yeah,
So
well, Papa talked
so
about
you
that a
see
few
my point.
times.
So you see my point. Unless you got a set of cojones, you don't really say too much about it unless you know you're absolutely right. And if you're absolutely right, they'll hush it up and say, "Okay, you're right, whatever, boom, boom, boom." But you don't hear about it anyway.
Okay, okay. So what you're telling me is that unless it's something really egregious, that people are gonna be like, nah, 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 I'm not gonna go occupy my neighborhood. Unless it's something so egregious, the average soldier will follow along because they're more worried about getting court-martialed. Um, well, yeah, because you're not in a democracy. You know, you're in a dictatorship. So so
If
if
my
Trump decides
commander,
to do
you know
that,
what? Hey, if my commander, if I was out here in the United States and my commander said, "Go shoot an American citizen," you know what I tell him? Go
what?
pound sand. I go gonna go pound sand, I take my weapon and put it down at his feet. So you're gonna have to go. You have to have someone else shoot an American citizen because I'm not.
Well,
I
hold
want.
on though. Let me rephrase that. Now all of a sudden he's not saying it's just an American citizen. He's telling you it's a terrorist. It's a it's somebody that is a that is a rebel in a lot of ways. Okay, so in that sense, therefore it changes the narrative. So now you don't see an American citizen. You now see an enemy combatant.
Yeah, but you know what? You still go to your oath. There's an
Yes,
oath.
but if you're being told by your commanding officer that that guy is Taliban, even though he's just a political adversary, that orders were handed down that he was Taliban, even though he wasn't, it's still the same thing.
But if,
Um,
you know what? If you don't know, Jason, you don't know. You're
yeah,
gonna
well,
carry
that's
out the
that's what I'm
order.
saying is this
Well,
is
you're gonna
this is
carry out,
how you
carry out
play
the
the
order.
game.
You're not gonna know it anyway. You're
Yes, but when I
gonna go do this. But the only time a soldier has something like that is if it's blatant. Like
yes,
go
but
shoot this or go shoot that or lie here or lie there or whatever. You know the difference between right and wrong. If your commander or leader was worth any of his salt, he asks you to lie or asks you to do something illegal. He ain't a leader. He's a bitch.
okay, but here's the thing though. In order for Trump to be able to violate posse comitatus, there would have to be a civil war, which means now the average American citizen, if they go against the government, if they are the ones against the government, then they are therefore looked at as an enemy combatant and therefore are stripped of of their citizenship rights by being an enemy combatant. Trading with the Enemies Act, there's been all kinds of stuff that's been put in through. That's why Trump's trying to use certain rules to
Hold
to
on, wait a
get the
minute.
illegal aliens out.
Do you remember there was something that he did before he got out of office the first time about posse comitatus? I wonder if someone in the audience can help us, but he did do something, and they were urging him to do it, but he wouldn't do it. He did it in the form of an EO,
Huh. um
but
i'm not
he
i'm
did
not
he did
sure.
do something where he could uh, bypass the posse comitatus. I don't know, but there
Okay,
was
so if he bypassed posse comitatus, would you go along with it even if he called it, civil unrest, dissident, and made people out to be enemy combatants, but yet they were just pissed off because the trade war took their jobs or AI took their jobs and they're tired of starving, so therefore the people revolt. Now they're listed as enemy combatants. Do
now. Hold on, now here's. I'm not the president. I don't know what the heck he's thinking, but
no,
if I had to do that, first of all, I would. First of all, you would have these green or these blue states governors wishing out like a bunch of pussies that they are. I understand that you're going to look out for you got to look out for your people. Whoever the governor is for Chicago, that dude there,
yeah,
Pitsker, JD Pitsker. Yeah. Anyway, you little fat slob. Anyway. Oh, I'm sorry.
anyways.
Excuse me. I didn't mean to say that. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got to be nice to the government. They're here to help us. Don't look at me like that, old man. That's YouTube. It's their platform, So, um, but I,
But
I don't, I don't know.
what I'm saying is, you got these blue states and you got the red states. Some of them are going to follow the orders, some of them aren't. You already know who ain't going to follow. The whole entire West Coast ain't going to follow. You got Chicago that's not. You got Illinois that's not going to follow, and you
I don't
got
know. I think Arizona, Idaho, and Utah will for sure follow.
what?
Arizona's red. Our federal senators here are Democrats, but that's because of the big cities, Phoenix and I think was it Tucson. That's where the voting block is. All of us, we don't get a voice out here.
I
But if
heard.
you come out in the rural areas, it's all red.
I heard Hochul is running scared. She's running behind in the polls, and I guess Stefanik Stefanik is running for governor. She's Republican, and Trump's backing her. I think New York's going to turn red.
Oh, speaking of,
California
did
might
you
turn
did you
red
hear what
too.
Christy Nome said
What?
when she was asked about the about posse comitatus and what right the president had, and and stuff like that. And she gave some of the. She looked like probably the dumbest person in the room. Like you could sit there. It was like a facepalm moment. It was so bad. I don't think I can actually remember what she said, but it was really 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 hard. Like, oh yeah, it's a tool in the president's toolbox.
Well,
You can use
hold
it
on,
to be
wait a
able to
minute
get rid of
now.
these aliens.
Now, if you're going to insult someone, you got to at least know what they said. Don't sit there and say, "Oh, I don't remember what," but I'm going to insult you anyway. That's a. Are you turning woke on me? Do I have to come over there and slap you?
Oh, dude, I am so woke, man. You know what? We cannot solve our problems without the government. We need the government here. It is not. We are too incapable of solving our own problems.
Oh,
So
I agree.
yeah, I have gone
Yeah,
woke.
yeah. I agree with you. Oh well. Oh, I love the government. The government is so great.
So Craig says usually civil war breaks out when troops attack its own people. Yes, I think Don has his big bill. Okay. Uh, uh, okay. So that pretty much to see. Yeah, even Invisible Man is turning woke with us. So it's getting real late, guys. Okay, later. Um, military is being used on its non-intervention. The military is being used on its own people like it's eating your own arm.
Well, no,
Yeah,
I tell you what, Pete Hegseth up in there, good guy, good guy.
I don't think so.
Eh,
I'm
oh,
I'm I'm kind of out. He's a pretty boy.
eh, eh, eh.
He's a pretty
How
boy.
many? How many years in the service do you have?
Okay, fine.
6 months. Okay. Okay.
Something
Just
like that.
now, let me tell you about Pete Hegseth. Just from what I know and understand, dude is number one when it comes to the soldiers, and that's the whole reason why Trump picked him is because everyone's so worried about procuring all these systems and all this and all that, the newest this and newest that. But you know what they always forgot? The soldier. Pete Hegseth didn't forget the soldier. He's fighting for the soldier. And you know what? A soldier will fight just that extra mile or 2 miles just because of their leader. And you know what? Because Pete Hegseth is the leader in the military, the Defense Department, everyone will follow him. I'm retired. I'll follow him. And I tell you
Really?
what,
Why?
dude's got integrity. He's smart. I would follow him to the edge of the earth. You know what? He's smart. He knows what he's doing, and he's going to tell me the truth. That way, I can make up my decision whether what we're doing is right or not. But I'm still going to
Uh,
follow the orders.
I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure I believe all of that. I don't. Maybe just the media that I'm getting. I don't know who you watch, but the media that I'm getting kind of makes him look like a bumbling fool. Um,
Yeah, all the
and I've
media
just
is trying to make
I've
him
been
like
sitting here
a
just
bumbling
wondering, like,
fool.
why is this guy so great? Everybody seems to love him, but he just seems like he was what Air Force Reserve. He seems more like a pretty boy than anything to me.
No, United States Army.
I thought he was Air Force.
No, United States Army.
Okay.
He's smart. You know what? You got to be smart to be in the Army. The rest of them are just a bunch of wannabes. You know how that works.
Oh yeah. No, let's not start this branch rivalry because you ain't ready to be a Marine yet, anyways. That's why
Whatever.
you chose the Army.
Yeah, but you know what? When it comes time to take the hill with the M60 machine gun, every one of those Marines are going to jump up and rush that hill, and you're going to get at least 100% casualties. You know what the Army's going to do? Call in artillery and blow the fuck out of it.
Uh,
You could be a Marine all you want. We ain't that damn stupid.
mm.
Because you know what? Your grandfather was in Vietnam, and he told me exactly that's what the Marines would do.
Yeah, well, that's because they're too gung ho. It's meant to be an assault force. It's meant to be cannon fodder. That's why you join.
I don't mean to sit there and demean the Marines, but you know what? It don't take too much brains to be a Marine. In other words.
I don't know. Some of the smartest people join the Marines. Part of
Oh,
it they do it is just because they're tired of being looked at as wimps.
let's talk about General Milley, shall we, please?
Oh, let's talk about General Douglas McGregor. If we're gonna talk, he's a Marine.
McGregor?
Yeah, he was a Marine, if I remember correctly.
Nope.
No, it wasn't. I thought no, McGregor was Army. No, who's the other one? The guy that was a weapons inspector, and he was a Marine.
Oh, Ritter.
Yes, Ritter.
Yeah,
Yes, I mean
Jack
Ritter's
Ritter.
very
Well,
intelligent too. Okay, go Navy. Oh come on, man, we just needed a ride from you. Air Force are smart. No, no.
no, no. The Navy needed someone to dance with. That's why they created the Marines. You know where I'm going on that.
Oh yeah. Okay, all
Don't
right, I'll
even
leave that one
start it.
alone, old man. All right, so we've been going for almost 2 hours. I know it's late over there. What is it? About almost 10 o'clock. So you got some bed to go to. You got some stuff to get done. But for all those of you that were here, we very much appreciate you showing up. Every Friday, my old man and I do this at 8 Eastern, and we just go for as long as we can. Normally, it's a members only chat, but I had some technical difficulties. Oliver North, I don't know. Oliver North was, I wouldn't call him intelligent. He was loyal and dumb. And he got screwed over. Um, but I want to say thanks to everybody that's here and everything else like that. We do this every Friday night.
Wait. One thing about Oliver North. You know what he did?
He covered Reagan's ass. He
Nope.
was a patsy.
Nope.
What?
He took the bullet.
Yeah, he was a patsy. He was Reagan.
He
For
took
Reagan.
no.
Oh, we're talking
Military.
about in combat.
No, military. He took the bullet. You want to
Uh,
call civilian a patsy? You can call him patsy. The military guy took the bullet for his chief.
uh, Yeah, I still. Well, I mean, therefore, did he violated his oath because he was therefore doing something that Congress had told him he was not allowed to do.
He took a bullet. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah, well, luckily people forget long enough. Now he's considered a hero when he was disgraced when he got.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, let's start on the Clintons. You know the Clintons gave.
No. Do not. No. No. You do not talk about that family on here. I want to keep my channel. Mm-mm. No, you can't talk about that family. Remember what happened last time that happened? I had 4 channels deleted.
I
You
apologize.
cannot talk about them.
I apologize. I got carried away.
Yes. So,
The
anyways,
Clintons. The Clintons are the best thing that happened. They are great people.
yes, they are. They are stellar. We should have. I wish we could have gotten 10 elections of Bill Clinton because he was the best president we ever had. But
If I
anyways,
if I could go back, I'd vote for him again.
oh yeah, he was your favorite president. I remember how much you loved him. So, anyways,
Oh yeah.
all right, guys, I'm gonna say thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for everything, and we will see you guys next Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Come on, join us, and we look forward to seeing you. I'll see you. I'll talk to you in the next couple days, old man. Have a good
Peace.
one, guys.
Bye.